I want to talk today a little about my personal experience. So it's the new year, as many people, we're thinking about where we are, time of reflection, and what we want to do differently. And I am working on my own goals the same way other people are. And I want to demystify and maybe pull back the curtain on some things. This is both for good for me to get out loud, but also for anyone who's a student, coach, or even a client to know. I'm fortunate enough to train a lot of coaches, and I hear a lot when I'm training them. They'll say, well, how am I going to be a good coach if I also struggle with insert whatever you want here, with weight loss, with organization, with whatever the topic is, right? So I struggle with organization a lot. I have ADHD, not an excuse, just saying more of that neurotypicality. You have a lot of good ideas, but the execution will fall through sometimes. Or I'll get started and then task switch before it's completed and continue task switching. And like many people, I'm able to get along okay, but it's come to a point where this is really starting to affect a lot of parts of my life. It has in the past before, and I'm looking again how to change. And I think personal growth can be so frustrating because we sometimes see our similar patterns showing up again and again in different ways. And it's easy to beat ourselves up saying, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I? Or for me, frankly, it can feel really frustrating. It feels so capable in some ways, feel so knowledgeable and creative in some ways, but feel so ineffective at the same time. It really starts eating your self-doubt or your self-worth, and then your efficacy. And you get to the freeze pattern, or I do. It's a freeze pattern. You feel overwhelmed by all these things are undone, and what happens? I freeze and it piles on more and more. So in breaking these patterns, I'm doing a lot of things this year. So one is going to getting more coaching. I know coaching works for me. It's very effective. I can find providers that lets me find my own answer because each brain is unique and each solution is unique. Here's the insight I want to give everyone. I already know the what to do. Most people know what to do. They gotta get it done. They gotta lose the weight. They gotta eat better. There's something that feels like it's a barrier blocking or just not clicking in just yet. This is where information or knowledge is not always a limiting factor. I've helped many people with their organization and their time management, and very effectively so. It's not because I knew the tools or the skills. I could talk about different, strategies or methods or approaches to create new changes. But because it allowed everyone to find their own version, what will work for them and going at their pace. And I'm excited to work with my coach on those same things, finding my own pace, what's my sustainability, what's my growth. And I just want to make this video, maybe a little video series on talking about my journey because it is tough. I'm faced with a lot of guilt and shame about not being able to produce the way I want to produce. I feel bad that I'm holding up my colleagues sometimes or people in my replies as my inboxes get so full and I'm not following through. I've seen it affect my family or friends and relationships where I'll forget to reply back to something or think I'll do it later, or I can get overwhelmed and think I'll do it later versus doing it in the moment. So these are not excuses. These are all being just accepting where I'm at. And acceptance is a word I think is used a lot. There's so many different connotations and meanings. People say you gotta accept something. Accepting something does not mean you condone it or agree with it. It does not mean that you've renounced to it or that you're done growing or working. To me, acceptance is like the starting point of your GPS. You just gotta accept where you are to know the direction, to know where you want to go to. For example, if you want to go to see Statue of Liberty, where are you coming from? Coming from Miami or California? Or from Brooklyn? Right? The paths to get there are going to be different, even though you're going to the same place. So you should accept where you're starting from so you can take the next steps there. So acceptance does not mean renouncing to or giving up on. Acceptance, I hope to look at it as a way, as something to be celebrated, to know where you're starting from so you know the next step. And it takes a long, hard look to accept all those things that you don't like. Sometimes in coaching, the beginning could be exciting, but also difficult because you realize how much work there is to do or how long You may have struggled with having this work not feel fluid or feel difficult or feel like it's not sticking. But I'm reminding myself, what I remind my clients too, that change requires being consistent. But that doesn't always mean consistently doing the exact same thing. It means consistently retry. It's so easy for me in the past to do something. Oh, it's not working for me. I'm such a failure. What's wrong with me? This and this. All right, learn what didn't work. Try again. Maybe tomorrow will work. Maybe today was an off day. The more we try, the more we'll both be efficacious and learn skills in doing it, lower energy, but also we find the right approach for us. We might learn what didn't work and what should work. I've learned, for example, that what I thought was my way of working wasn't exactly as accurate as I thought it could be. Take data, look at how much your time is being spent. I was surprised how ineffective I was during times of the day that I thought I was being effective. I found opportunities at times that I could focus more and really get more done instead. I'm different than I was 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm still a night hawk, but there's certain work I don't do well at night anymore, where I used to be able to do that kind of work well at night. So now I got to think about where's my brain work at what times and what kind of things can I set myself for success? And how can I take care of myself so that I have the energy to do those things? I got to work on my nutrition, the quality things I eat and how I eat to give me more energy through the day, right? It affects my sleep. Consistent sleep, so I'm not feeling tired or groggy, so I'm more effective. So I have more emotional bandwidth to deal with the hard stuff and don't get frozen by it. To make a change in a system requires a systemic approach, even when you start with one starting point, because the whole system affects itself. And it can feel overwhelming to make systemic change. But we got time. I have I hope to have many, many more, not only years, but decades on Earth. So it's plenty of time for changing. Just take it one day at a time and have compassion for yourself when you doesn't go the way you want it to go. And find whatever helps you to restart. For me, coaching allows help for not only my accountability, but allows my brain to think differently, for me to challenge my limiting beliefs, not only find solutions to really change my mindset. Mindsets change. It might take some time, but they change. Might as well start today. Speaking of, I heard a phrase that says, what's the best time to plant a tree? 5 years ago. What's the second best time to plant a tree? Today. So I'm planting a tree today, letting it out there that I'm starting on this journey, and it's going to be difficult. And I want to say it out loud so I don't have to hide from it. So I can see support, receive accountability, but mostly be accountable to myself. Change only happens when it comes from within. And I know I'm ready from within. And how can I take that internal motivation and use my external tools to help amplify it and have it be effectively be channeled into energy that will feed back to my goals and a better system in the future. So let's see how this journey goes and how much I learn.